welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're unpacking a story that honestly sounds almost too good to be true. But trust us, it is absolutely real. Imagine launching an app, okay, starting with just 16 followers on X, Twitter.
16.
Yeah, 16. And within 117 days, hitting an incredible $1 million in annual recurring revenue.
Wow.
That's the money a business expects from subscriptions over a year. And not just that, but then scaling it to nearly $7 million ARR.
It's phenomenal growth.
Exactly. And this isn't your typical Silicon Valley story, blessed with billions in funding. Nope. This is the bootstrap journey of Yasser and his AI application Chatbase.
Bootstrapped being the key word there. No outside investment.
Right. So the big question we're tackling today, how is such explosive unfunded growth even possible? Especially, in the AI world, which moves so incredibly fast.
Well, what we're about to explore is it's really nothing short of a masterclass in modern bootstrapping viral growth, all within this AI era. It's a testament to sharp observation, strategic, almost surgical execution, and really understanding how to leverage these new technologies.
It wasn't just luck then.
No, definitely not. This wasn't just a lucky break or, some random viral moment. It's about a series of deliberate, really quite clever strategies that Yasser used.
Okay.
So we're going to meticulously dissect his exact playbook. And the goal here is to offer insights that you, listening right now, can absolutely adapt and apply, regardless of your background or industry, or even how many followers you have online right now.
Right. So this is about practical takeaways.
Absolutely. This deep dive should give you a unique kind of detailed perspective on what it takes to succeed in today's landscape. It's changing so fast.
Okay, so let's go way back to the beginning. Yasser's journey. It started kind of unconventionally.
Yeah.
He was interning at some huge tech companies, right? The FAAng giants, we all know. But while he was there, he felt this disconnect.
Didn't feel right for him.
Exactly. He looked at people maybe 5-10 years ahead of him on that corporate ladder and just thought, that's not the path I want.
Okay, so where did the inspiration come from?
Well, it actually came from somewhere totally different. The whole bootstrapping movement he was seeing on X, on Twitter.
Ah, the indie hackers.
Yeah, he followed people like Peter Levels, Danny Postma.
Especially when that first wave of AI tools started making noise.
Right, that early AI buzz.
And he started seeing all these cool demos, people building things like ChatGPT for your data, tools that could chat with your specific documents.
Okay, yeah, I remember seeing those early demos.
But here's the kicker. He noticed nobody was actually building a ready-to-use product around it, just demos.
Interesting. So lots of concepts, but no actual tool.
Precisely. And he didn't bother with, traditional market validation, which every startup guru tells you to do.
Right. Validate, validate, validate.
His mindset was super clear and honestly quite bold. He just thought, if I don't build this, someone else will, and they'll do it soon. That's fascinating, isn't it? That kind of entrepreneurial courage to just go for it without the usual safety nets of market research.
Yeah.
Because most advice, it screams, validate first.
Yeah.
But Yasser saw this gap. It wasn't just obvious. It felt like it was about to explode, right? Driven by these new AI capabilities.
Totally.
So his intuition, probably honed by just watching these trends unfold so fast, told him now's the time. Go now. Not after months of surveys. Sometimes, the biggest risk is actually not moving fast enough when that opportunity is just staring you in the face.
And move fast he did. Which brings us straight to what he calls his life-changing tweet.
Okay.
And get this, it was only his third tweet.
Ever.
On X.
Third tweet?
And it just exploded, went completely viral. And there were three crucial elements that made it work so well. First, the familiar interface.
Ah, okay. Like ChatGPT.
Exactly like ChatGPT. He designed Chatbase with that streaming chat-like interface. And at that moment, ChatGPT was everywhere, right? Super viral.
Everyone knew what it looked like.
So his demo felt instantly recognizable. People got it immediately. It appealed to this huge, already engaged audience. They knew how to use it right away.
That's critical. He basically removed any friction, any learning curve.
Totally. Second, he minimized the aha moment.
What does that mean exactly?
It means the demo was super simple. It showed off everything Chatbase could do within the first 20 seconds.
Ah, okay. Instant value proposition.
Yes, you didn't need to click around or sign up or anything. The value was just bam, right there. Clear, immediate. You saw what it did while you'd want it.
Makes sense.
And third, and this is, I think, really insightful, he openly mentioned the new AI tools he used.
Oh, interesting. Like which ones?
Things like LangChain, the framework for building LLM apps.
Yeah.
And Pinecone, that vector database for handling AI data?
Right, right. Those were hot names back then.
Exactly. So why was mentioning these specific tools so impactful?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Yasser just masterfully leveraged the trends, didn't he? He tapped into the whole burgeoning AI ecosystem. It wasn't just about building a product in isolation. He plugged directly into all the excitement, the curiosity around these brand new tools and the companies making them.
Okay.
By listing the tech he used, he created this kind of win-win. These tool companies, they were hungry for real-world examples, right? For validation.
Sure, they wanted to show their tech was useful.
Exactly. So they effectively became his amplifiers. They shared his tweet, promoted his work. It created this organic virality from, remember, just 16 followers.
Right, yeah.
It really shows you don't always need a huge pre-existing audience if you can ride a big tech wave and, get the right players involved.
So the significance of this all really hit him while he was still a student at university.
Right. He was still studying.
Yeah. Chatbase was just a side project initially, something making a bit of cash on the side, which was nice.
Yeah.
But then he started seeing consistent sales, like 2 or 3 sales every single day, without fail.
Okay. That's a signal.
That's when he realized the true significance, as he put it, of what he'd built. And that's when he made the huge decision to drop out of university.
Wow.
To go all in on Chatbase. That's a massive leap of faith, isn't it? From a safe academic path to betting it all on a side project.
It absolutely is. And it really speaks volumes about his conviction, right? His belief in the product's potential.
Yeah.
Most people would be, frankly, terrified to ditch that traditional path. But that leap, that belief, it unlocked the next phase. So the question becomes, how do you keep that momentum going? How do you sustain that kind of growth beyond just one viral hit? How do you get to 1 million ARR so fast?
Exactly. It clearly wasn't just beginner's luck. It was this deliberate build-in public playbook he followed.
Build in public. We hear that a lot now.
Yeah, and Yasser stresses the most basic step. Like, the absolute foundation is just sharing what you're doing every day.
Sounds simple, but it's hard work.
Deceptively simple, yeah. But apparently incredibly powerful.
That's right. And it's crucial to get that it's a long game. You have to understand that. The first couple of months, maybe 3 months, you might not get many views. Not much happens immediately.
Right, you're building foundations.
Exactly. You're building a brand, you're crafting a narrative, a story, and that takes relentless consistency. Showing up every day.
He also mentioned showing your face.
Yeah, Yasser emphasizes showing your face, using video on platforms like X. He says not enough people do that well, so it's actually a huge opportunity to stand out in a very crowded space.
Makes sense. Video connects more.
Totally. And this continuous visible effort, it just slowly builds momentum like a snowball. You create this loyal following who feel, invested in your journey.
How so?
Well, think of it like sharing these micro updates all the time. Fix this bug today. Got great feedback from this user. Tweak the UI here. It's showing the process, the struggle even, not just the final polished thing.
Gotcha. So it's not just showing what you build, but how you build it. And showing you.
Precisely. Yasser talks about framing your whole journey as a learning experience. Genuinely bringing your audience along for the ride.
And not being boring.
Definitely not boring. It's about being more personal, yeah. Sharing your story, letting your personality shine through.
Even mentioned having controversial takes.
Well, yeah, if you genuinely believe them, it's about being authentic, right? Standing for something. It gets you noticed. It allows people to connect with the human behind the code.
Right. That authenticity builds trust.
Absolutely key. That transparency, that authenticity, it fosters this deep connection and trust. When people feel like they know you and they see you learning in public, warts and all.
They root for you.
They totally root for you. They become invested. They don't just use your product. They become your biggest advocates, maybe even give you early feedback, ideas. It's powerful community building. Money just can't buy that.
Okay, so after that initial viral hit, how did Chatbase keep the engine running? To get to $1 ARR in 117 days and then zoom up to nearly $7.
Yeah, the sustained growth part.
He had some really ingenious, often free, growth strategies. First, he framed every new feature release as a new launch, not just a feature update.
Okay. What's the difference? Seems like semantics.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It ensures that even people completely new to Chatbase, just scrolling past, could immediately get the value prop and why it mattered.
Right. A feature update might only make sense to existing users.
Exactly. If you're new, you don't have the context. You don't care. But a new launch, that grabs attention. It signals something fresh, something significant for everyone.
That's a subtle but really brilliant psychological trick. It leverages our excitement for novelty, doesn't it?
Totally. Second, he got super creative with free virality.
Okay. How?
He'd create free ChatGPT instances for popular books. Books by influential people like Paul Graham or Naval Ravikant.
Oh, interesting. Like a chatbot based on their book.
Yeah. And then he'd promote these free tools in relevant subreddits, online communities where fans of those authors hang out.
Smart. So the goal wasn't direct revenue from those.
Not at all. In fact, he said he was actually losing money on the server costs for these free tools.
Okay, so why do it?
The point was domain authority and clicks. To entice those highly relevant users to click through from the free tool to the main chat-based landing page.
Ah, it's indirect marketing. Lead generation.
Exactly. A brilliant indirect way to get new, super relevant eyeballs on his core product by offering immediate free value up front.
Man, these tactics just highlight the sheer creativity and the hustle, right?
Yeah.
It shows that massive reach, rapid growth,
Yeah.
it doesn't always need huge marketing budgets.
No.
If you understand users, leverage communities, frame things smartly, you can make a big impact.
It's scrappy, effective.
Totally. It's proof that ingenuity can often beat deep pockets, especially early on.
And finally, when maybe there wasn't a big new feature to launch or a free viral campaign running, he used sponsored posts really effectively.
Paid ads.
Yeah, but strategically.
Yeah.
He mentioned one LinkedIn page post, just one, that generated an amazing $4,000 in revenue in a single day.
Wow. That's a great return. Shows targeted ads can work.
For sure. And the numbers for Chatbase today, they're just really impressive. It's sitting at $6.8 million in ARR,
Incredible.
over 10,000 paying customers, pay between like $4,500 a month, and around 600,000 registered users in total. That's serious scale for a bootstrapped company.
It really is, and those numbers are a direct result of what's called product-led growth, PLG. That's Chatbase's core model.
Okay, unpack PLG for us a bit. What does that actually mean in practice?
Sure. Product-led growth, in a nutshell, means your product itself is the main engine driving growth. Acquisition, retention, expansion, it all comes from the product experience.
So less reliance on sales teams.
Much less, often none at the start.
Yeah.
For Chatbase, it meant creating that core feature, upload a PDF, and talk with it. That was so simple, so intuitive, so immediately valuable.
That users just found it and loved it.
Exactly. They find it, they love it, they pay for it. Often without ever talking to a salesperson, it's about letting the product sell itself through pure utility.
So practically, that means things like,
Well, having a direct strike payment button right there, focusing your marketing outside the website, driving traffic to the product experience, having a killer landing page that screams value instantly. But the absolute key is having a robust, high-quality, minimum viable product, an MVP.
right, the first version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the idea is launch fast, sure, but never launch junk. You need to be proud of that first version. It needs to work well, solve the core problem effectively so people are excited, not frustrated. Good UI, no major bugs.
Got it. Yasser also seems really forward-thinking about building with AI agents, the next wave maybe.
Yeah, right.
He recommends, for anyone wanting to learn this stuff, going straight to the source, like OpenAI's own cookbooks and docs. Vercel's AI SDK too.
Right, the toolkits for building AI features.
Yeah. His advice is study their examples, see who's using them, learn directly from how the leading companies are telling you to build this stuff.
That makes sense.
Learn from the masters.
But this raises an interesting point, doesn't it? How do you balance following the experts and their documentation with, well, forging your own path?
Yeah.
Because Yasser's biggest insight, his whole bet on the future strategy for AI, it almost seems to contradict just following the docs.
How so?
He suggests finding something you can't quite build yet. Because the AI models today, they aren't smart enough. Then you build everything you can build around that core idea.
Okay.
And you make the strategic bet. You bet that future models, maybe a GPT-5 or whatever comes next, will eventually be smart enough to enable your full vision.
Wow. That's betting on the unknown.
It is. And he did it himself. He started Chatbase before the official ChatGPT API was even released.
No way.
Yes, he had the product ready, people using it based on earlier tech. Then, boom, the ChatGPT API drops, he integrates it, announces it, and goes viral again.
So he had a head start.
He essentially had a full year's head start on almost everyone else in that specific market. Think about that. A year's lead in AI.
That's incredible foresight.
It really is. That willingness to build for capabilities that don't exist yet, that's where real innovation often happens.
Truly remarkable. And speaking of building, let's quickly touch on the tech stack. It sounds lean but powerful.
Mm-hmm.
They use Vercel for hosting, right? And Vercel's AI SDK for a lot of the AI infrastructure, keeping things streamlined.
Yeah, Vercel is very popular for this stuff.
Supabase for the database and backend services.
Also a solid choice. Handles a lot of the complexity.
And importantly, they're model agnostic. They integrate with lots of different AI labs.
Mm-hmm.
OpenAI, Anthropic, Cohere, Google Gemini, even Grok.
That's smart. Gives users choice, flexibility, doesn't lock them into one provider.
Right. And then for the business side, it's Stripe for payments, Dub for affiliates, Metlify for documentation. Just a really modern, efficient setup, built for scale.
Yeah, very contemporary stack.
So after building this multi-million-dollar business, basically from scratch, what's Yasser's most surprising learning been?
Good question.
He says it's that there's just no single blueprint for building a successful company.
Really? No magic formula?
Apparently not. Things like how teams work best together, how you do performance reviews, remote versus in-person, company culture,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It varies wildly.
Across different successful companies.
Yeah, hugely successful companies do things completely differently from each other. It really shatters that idea that there's only one right way to build a business.
That's actually really liberating to hear, isn't it? It leads to a crucial takeaway for you, the listener.
Which is,
You don't necessarily need tons of experience or some rigid roadmap to start something great.
right.
While advice from others, yeah, definitely listen to it. It's valuable. But ultimately, you know your specific situation best. Your strengths, your market.
So trust your gut.
Trusting your gut is paramount because best practices in startups, they change constantly. Even the smartest people giving advice will often say, listen to me, but then trust your own instincts. Nobody knows your context like you do.
That makes a lot of sense. In this realization, it ties directly into the advice Yasser would give his younger self.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
Simply aim higher.
Aim higher.
Yeah. His initial goal, believe it or not, was pretty modest, just $10,000 ARR,
Oh.
enough to live that, indie hacker lifestyle in Bali.
Right. The dream for many developers.
But he quickly realized, wait a minute, why stop there? Why not shoot for the stars? Why not try to build the first $100 million ARR bootstrapped company?
Wow. That's a mindset shift.
Huge. He admitted he was actually too shy, too reserved at the start. He worried that Chatbase was, quote, just a ChatGPT wrapper.
Ah, that imposter syndrome kicking in.
Totally. He now firmly believes he should have moved faster, put more on the line, been more confident in the value he was obviously creating.
That is such a powerful and deeply personal lesson for all of us, I think. Those self-limiting beliefs, that little voice saying, you're not good enough, or your idea isn't original enough.
Yeah, they can hold you back so much.
Severely constrain your potential. Yasser admitting he was too reserved, worried about what people thought even when his product was taking off. That's a really common trap. Having the courage to aim higher, to move faster, to put more skin in the game, when you genuinely see an opportunity that can absolutely transform what you achieve, it's about believing in the bigger vision, not just the first step.
Absolutely. So Yasser's incredible journey with Chatbase, it just offers so many invaluable lessons, doesn't it? Viral launches, the art of building in public, those ingenious growth hacks, and maybe most importantly, the transformative power of just daring to dream bigger.
Yeah.
It's a real testament to what's possible with a bold idea and just relentless smart execution, even starting from absolute zero online. This detailed look really shows, I think, that with the right approach, you really can attract attention and build something significant.
It really does. So as you reflect on Yasser's success, betting on the future of AI, being willing to move fast, trusting his gut, maybe ask yourself, what seemingly impossible challenge are you passionate about? Something current tech maybe can't quite solve yet.
Okay.
What tiny step could you take, maybe even today, to start building towards that future? Trusting that, like Yasser found, innovation might just catch up. What stands out most to you from his story? What's one thing you'll apply to your own goals, whether they're big or small?
Yeah, think about how these insights might apply to your own aspirations. Whether you're building a tiny side project or dreaming of that multi-million-dollar business,
We'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts on this. What resonated with you? Share your opinions and suggestions down in the comments.
Definitely. This deep dive hopefully has given you a simple but comprehensive look at the strategies that can make amazing things possible. So if you enjoy this deep dive, please do take a moment to like this video.
Helps others find it.
Subscribe to the deep dive wherever you're listening. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And please share this video with someone else you think might benefit from these insights. Help them stay informed too.
Yeah, spread the knowledge.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating deep dive.